Greetings, duelists, and welcome to another deck report. This is Season 5, Week 21. You probably already saw the first profile that I showed on the channel. It was a couple of days ago. It was the Gem Knight deck. Originally, I planned to play Gem Knight at locals again. However, right before our locals was going on, the World Championships was also going on, and I have a small friend group that goes to locals. Like it's like a third of us that go to that locals, and I was at a wedding, which is one of the reasons I was super busy this past week. However, people were bringing up to me, hey, do you know that Lunalight is like in the top 8? And I was like, oh shit. And like one of them was like, what if they make it all the way through? And I literally told my group, if that deck makes it far, I will play at locals. Because I actually do like Lunalight. I've profiled Lunalight in this channel. Funnily enough, I've never profiled pure Lunalight, I think. I think it always was a hybrid. It was either Fiendsmith or Mitsurugi or Ogdoadex or like some weird combination like that. I never played the pure Lunalight deck because, one, I wasn't confident on the pure build itself. I feel like the format where the deck came out on, like the Duelist Alliance format before Justice Hunters, was not the right format for it. I think the deck like struggled with so many common trends that were happening in the format. But now, post Justice Hunters, I think this deck has a lot more to do. I think this deck shines a lot more. And I think the World Championship performance just speaks for itself. Not only that, I will post the profile in the description. Joshua Smith recorded Tom's deck profile, and they brought up like how relevant was Lunalight for the upcoming future, and they were saying that Lunalight was already doing well in the OCG, and it wasn't like the safest pick for Worlds because they didn't know if people were going to play be prepared for it. Funnily enough, that wasn't the case. But yeah, I'll get straight to the list. I'll talk about my ratios. I'll talk about Tom's ratios as well, because I did see his deck profile right after this, like, or I actually planned for this one. But yeah, let's go through it. So, 3 Gold Leo, 2 Kaleido Chicks, 2 Black Sheep, 2 Silver Hound, 2 Tigers, 1 Emerald Bird, 1 Yellow Martin, 1 Lunalight Wolf. So Tom's ratios were the exact same except for 1 Tiger. They only played 1 Tiger while I played 2. I kind of just wanted the extra extender when I built the deck, and I also like kind of wanted to see if I can toolbox into my rank 4s. If this was the older hybrid, like with the Mitsurugi cards, this probably would have been a 2 to a 3 of. But I think on this version, you can get away with 1. Although, the second one did come up for me once. So, I think this ratio is correct. I think every single other ratio is correct. You should be playing Emerald Bird as well. I think people that are not playing Emerald Bird, I mean, just look at Tom's list. If you have any doubts. He also explains Emerald Bird. Alright. For other monsters, I played Fractal and Nibiru. So I'll talk about Nibiru first, because Fractal is a little bit more obvious. So the thing about Nibiru is Nibiru, I guess I'll say it right now. I am playing Galan Granite in my extra deck. So my thought process was, if I could end on double Liger plus the Nibiru, that's almost unwinnable for anybody. Like, because the double Liger SPE play is a little bit more predictable. Few people will play around it a little bit more, even the Baguska version. I just felt that most of the time, if you're going to run over Liger Dancer, you're going to commit or at least 3 to 5 summons, and that's where the Nibiru comes in. Shoutouts to one of my Dracotail opponents. They did out one of the Ligers by negating their own card with Dragoon, Red Eyes Dragoon, and making a 4K attack. Like, that already plays into Nibiru. Because they already negated their own card. So that's like one example that I can give where Nibiru is helpful. Tom did not play any hand traps besides Fualas, which is something I did think about. I did think about playing Fualas. I do play another hand trap besides Nibiru. But yeah, Luna is just one of these decks where it's very awkward for you to play hand traps because it's not like a real one card combo deck. It's one of those decks where you kind of want all your engine pieces. So I felt like the one Nibiru was fine. I don't think I ever resolved it. Fractal is a little bit more obvious. Again, Tom's deck profile will be in the description. This is just an extra extender, which works with the Silverhound. Alright, let's go to the other cards. Triple Masquerade, Triple Tanky, Triple Perfume, Triple Goods, 2 Lunalight Fusions, 2 Thrusts, Foolish Burial, Talents, Poly, Called by the Grave. So I guess I can show the 3 Imperms, the Black Goat, and Serenade Dance. We'll talk about Serenade Dance first, alongside the Foolish Goods. So, for those who don't know, this card is semi-limited in the OCG. This card is not a 3. So, the most builds are not playing this, at least from the OCG side. Tom did cite it on his Worlds list. But since we have this card at 3 in the TCG, I think this card is actually a lot better in the main deck because we do have the access to the Black Goat and we do have the access to the Serenade Dance. And I just feel like that is correct. Also, I guess another note, bringing up the Nibiru and the Imperm. So Tom thought Imperm was not good enough to be played in the main deck, and to some extent, I do agree. He also did not play Impulse. I did I'll say right now, I'm not playing Dominus Impulse here either. My reasoning for the Imperm was you don't play into the Canine cards. And it's also really good when you're going second because of Herald of Arclight. The Yummy matchup is really easy for this deck, but a smart Yummy player is going to summon Arclight on you because Arclight is actually makes it tough for this deck to perform their fusion summons properly, especially since we're not main decking the heavy polymerization, which is something in the future I might look into. Instead of heavy polymerization in the main deck, I opted to play like more copies of Lunalight Fusion. I just felt like Lunalight Fusion is like a lot more safer. The conditions is a little bit more strict, but this card is easily searchable by the Yellow Martin as well. And this is 1 activation per turn, so if your opponent negates the activation of this card, you can just activate another one. Although heavy poly is not once per turn at all, which is a fair argument you could make for that. I also just didn't want to have a card that's awkward into Vanquish Soul, because Vanquish Soul is technically the best deck, and that deck is popular in my locals as well. Well, not super popular, but to some degree it is. It did win our locals yesterday. Oh, so fun fact, I got second at locals with Lunalight. I will talk about my deck report after I finish the entire deck, explaining the deck. Yeah, that was my reasoning for Imperm. I just wanted a card to fight Herald of Arclight, which never came up. I did not get Arclighted. So in the future, I might still play it, although you probably already seen the side deck. There's the Book of Eclipse. I think Tom did main it. I don't remember. Again, like you can just look at his list and see the differences. The differences are not that many. The main deck is 40 cards, so clean 40, which is something it's kind of rare to see in this channel. I guess I'll go with the extra deck. So Mirage, Cross Cheap, SP. I'm super glad I played Mirage. This was a last minute addition, and Tom also brought up on his deck list that this card came up for him at Worlds enough times. If this card was not in his extra deck, it would not have won Worlds. Well, okay, not won. I mean, made it to the finals. So for those confused, the reason Mirage is here is because of Lunalight Perfume. If your gold Leo gets negated and you have Lunalight Perfume, that's full combo. You pretty much just full combo through almost everything. So that was the reason behind that. Cross Chip was literally last minute. I did not summon Cross Chip a single time. I actually did summon it once. I did summon it once against Dracotail, but it was not super relevant. It got Nibiru too, so it is what it is. SP. Yeah. No. For those who don't know, you can attack directly with Liger Dancer even with SP effect. It doesn't affect the player, it affects the monsters. A Goose Cat, Tiger King, Exciton Knight, Gallant Granite, and Redoer. So Tom did play these. These were in his extra deck. Again, just really good cards. This is like one of your edges against the Vanquish Soul matchup, because the Vanquish Soul matchup is kind of bad. It's not as bad as it is for Dracotail, which is a good thing. But yeah, this deck can make this card easily. Tiger King does come up enough times. And fun fact, people at my locals did not know about the Dark Ruler effect. Tom calls it like the skill drain effect, but yeah, it's the same thing, basically. And I did win one game because of it. Gallant Granite is there because of the Nibiru you saw earlier. Redoer, this could be Nyarla, or this could be like the King Dempsey. But basically, it's a card to force a detach from the Yellow Martin or the Emerald Bird, and to trigger their effects when you're using Tiger. This did not come up at all. This is the weakest one because this can be Ash Blossomed. But in all honesty, if you're getting ashed on this and not on your other Luna cards, like what is your opponent doing to begin with? Exciton to wipe boards. This came up once, but it got Sullen Judgmented, funnily enough. But that Sullen Judgment was a good bait because then I proceeded to Liger Dancer. So for the fusions, Panther, double Leo, double Perfume, double Liger. The only card I was missing is the Saber Dancer. Shoutouts at the people at my locals that pulled this from their OTS packs and they just gave them to me. This will be in the future deck profile. This will be in a future deck list. Yeah, that's it for this. Alright, so side deck. 3 Eclipse, Duster, the 3rd Thrust, 3 Heavy Poly, 2 Lancias, 3 Fruas, and 2 Parolias. So I opted not to main deck the Charmies. I kind of just wanted the deck to be as optimal as possible, whether it's going first or second. I did lose some die rolls last week. but I'm actually glad I did not main these. The imperm actually did come up. I will explain my deck report in a bit. Funnily enough, I don't think I resolved Furua that much. I think I did resolve Purulia, and it did draw me a couple cards, but that's about it. There were Malice opponents at my locals, but one of my Malice opponents that usually go to locals switched to Vanquish Soul, and the other one didn't go to locals. So Lancia was not usable this weekend. So these, I kind of just wanted more breakers. I think Tom played this in the main deck. I know for a fact he did play this in the main deck, and he cited the Foolish Goods. I don't think it's incorrect any ratio of cards between the main or the side deck. I do think if you are playing Lunalight, you should be playing this card. It's a complete disservice if you're not playing this. I understand that the Vanquish Soul matchup is kind of iffy into this card, and this card makes the Vanquish Soul matchup a little easier for our opponents because they dwindle our life points a little bit too high. Either way, I still think this card is correct. Like, if you resolve this against a lot of decks going second, you just outright win the game. But since I didn't know if I was going first or second with the deck, I kind of just wanted to be safe with it, so I just cited it. I cite this alongside the third copy of Thrust. It's like essentially 6 copies of it, and this card is not once per turn to activate. So yeah, that's it for that. All right, so deck report. The first thing I want to bring up. So I got second at locals. The record was 401. I tied on round 3 against Dracotail. What happened on that match was game 1 lasted over 30 minutes. So on game 1, he double forward, and under the double Furua, I gave him, I think, 5 draws, and I ended on double Liger Dancer. So his answer to one of the Liger Dancers was Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, and negating his own card with Red Eyes Dark Dragoon to make the Dragoon 4k attack. And he just went to battle phase and he killed one of the Ligers. So I was left with 1 Liger Dancer. So for those who don't know, we do play Perfume Dancer, right? And this can lower Dragoon's attack. So if this resolved, that Dragoon loses attack, and I think it's a permanent drop, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so the attack drop from Perfume Dancer is permanent, which means if this resolves, the Dragoon can no longer beat over the Liger Dancer. They have to negate twice more. Like they need to negate twice more, like their own cards. And if they negate this this Perfume Dancer, they don't get the 1000 attack boost because they're not destroying the Perfume Dancer. So in that situation, we were in, like, we're at this point, and I needed to bait the Dragoon in order to resolve the Perfume Dancer. So what ended up happening was, I had the Tiger, Lunalight Tiger, and I bounced Tiger with Martin, etc., and I made Baguska. And my opponent actually let me get to the Baguska. The moment the Baguska got summoned, it was incredibly hard for him because the Dragoon was switched to defense. He did out the Baguska with the Dracotail Pan after that, but it was too late. Like, the Dragoon's already in defense. I beat over the Dragoon, and almost every time that he tried to set up with his Dracotails, I just did Liger to just pop them. And to his defense, he did like fight really hard to try to get back to Dragoon again, to summon it, like to get to this. But the problem was, he was not aware of Silverhound's effect. And when he tried to do the final push with the Ketu Dracotail, I banished the Silverhound, and I just negated the Ketu, and that was enough for me to secure game one. And that game one lasted a lot, like lasted almost 30 minutes. Game two, he did open Lancia on me, and he did his full Dracotail board, which made it extremely hard for me to push through because I did open Foolish Burial Goods. And I activated the Foolish Goods, and he just chained the Lancia right away, which made it to play around, like he could play around it. So neither Black Goat or Perfume from Graveyard was gonna extend through like his interruptions. So that's what happened on game two, and like it was already so close to time that it was a little bit too late. So that was my draw on round three. So matchups, it was that Dracotail player. I played against two Dracotails, one Mitsurugi Fiendsmith. I did not play against Yami yesterday. I played against Vanquish Soul K9. I did 2-0 that matchup. And I played against Fire King, which shouts to the Fire King player at my locals. He's been playing that deck every single week, and slowly but surely he's been doing more and more well with it. I don't know if Fire King is like the right call for the meta, but the guy, but to give credit to my Fire King opponent, he did practice against all the Justice Hunter decks, and in Doom of Dimensions, we are getting Tri-Brigade support, which is going to be really strong with the Fire King cards. Although he did say that he'll play with the Magnificent deck, the MST deck. But I digress. Needless to say, every game I summon Liger, I just won the game. Like, I summon Liger almost every single game. Against my Vanquish Soul opponent, it was a little bit rough because they did shifter me on game two. Which is funny because Tom did win his second game against the Vanquish Soul when they got shifted as well. So it's kind of fitting. Like, if you play shifter in your Vanquish Soul deck, you're going to brick. That's just a little bit meme on the side that I wanted to bring up. But yeah, I summoned Liger almost every single game. It was GG. I did summon Liger Dancer once against one of my Dracotail opponents, and this was enough. Like, the Dracotail cards do target, and the ones that do not target, like, he needs to actually go through a lot for this. Like, he'll have to set up Dracotail Pan and Mululu and use both of those cards subsequently, one behind the other, in order to just get rid of this Liger Dancer. And that's very specific. That is a lot to ask in Dracotail, especially when I'm summoning this going second. You need you need to have specifically Mululu, Pan, and Femena. Those three in your hand in order to get rid of this. Like, and that's a tall order. So yeah. I just summoned the Exodon once. I did not summon this. I did not summon the Gallic Granite. So these could easily get cut. The Tiger King was summoned. You already know about the Maguska. SP did get summoned once or twice. I summoned this only once. And Almirage, I did summon it enough times. So yeah. That's it for deck report. Would I keep playing this deck moving forward? I definitely do want to. I do think not only the Justice Hunter decks are good this format, I think decks like this one would be good. Similar to like what Tom said on his deck profile, if the ban list does things that are favorable for Lunalight, then it's just a good idea to keep playing Lunalight. As long as this deck is not on a lot of people's radar, it's going to be good. If Yami is still like one of the better decks this format, then this deck is a really good meta call, because the cards that are typically good against Yami are not good into this deck, and the cards that are good into this deck are not good into Yami or Vanquish Soul. So that is something we have on our advantage. Would I change this list? maybe a few changes. Like, I do still want to play 2 Tigers and 3 Perfume, despite Tom's choice of playing less. The 3rd Perfume has come up for me once or twice. So, Serenade Dance is a brick, but I actually every single time I opened the Serenade Dance, I had a way to discard it, so it was not that big of a deal. So my Mitsurugi opponent on round 4 opened Fossil Dyna game 1, which is kind of weird. It did happen. They summoned Galleon Granite and they just added the Fossil Dyna and they never normal summoned it. So that's how they got there. So that's where the Imperm was more relevant. So the Imperm actually did something for me. This card also does not play into K9s. So I might still play this in the future. Who knows? Maybe I'll play Impulse. I'm not sure yet. The main deck monster ratios I think is correct. I did like the second Lunalight fusion. I don't think this will get cut. I will consider heavy polymerization in the main deck in the future. The 3rd thrust could also be an option. But yeah, that's it from me. I hope you found this informative to your liking and understanding. I don't usually pick like net decking picks or some stuff like that, but you know, the World's Finals was so fitting for me to play this, and it actually worked out. All right, keep practicing and keep dueling.